Recording is on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. And it's a little too chilly for yoga by the pool today as it's windy and brisk out there. So we are inside. And our focus today is on mindful meditative movement. So really being internally aware of every movement that we're making, not just the poses that we're doing in the moment, but the breath during the pose and the transition from one pose into the next. So as always, be sure you're listening to your body and taking the movements that are most appropriate for you today. We'll be starting in a kneeling position on a blanket if you need a little bit of padding for your knees. If this feels uncomfortable for you, you can come down to a seated position as well. And if you have the ability to sit all the way back onto your heels, feel free to do that. I need a little bit of a lift for myself because of that old arthritis in the knees. So I'm going to sit on a block and just draw those shoulder blades back. Lengthen through your spine. Eyes are closed. And just notice the distance between the fronts of your shoulders, right and left, and the distance between the backs of your shoulders, and try to make that equal. So over time, we start to round and slump our shoulders forward. So try to broaden through the front side of the chest by gently engaging the muscles between the shoulder blades and in the back. And feel the texture of the breath as it enters through your nose, swirls down the back of your throat, deep into the lower belly. And the texture of the breath as you exhale through the nose as well. And the air may be a little bit warmer, a little bit moister in the breath as you exhale. And then blink your eyes open with a soft gaze. Sweep the arms out and up. Inhale, gaze up toward the fingertips. And then exhale and pull the shoulder blades back. Draw the tips of the elbows back towards one another for a nice chest expansion. And inhale again, reach. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades back, opening up through the heart. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Release the arms down. Clasp the hands behind your back or grab hold of your yoga strap and hold it behind you as we lift with the arms into a nice chest expansion. And then slightly lower them down. And we'll do this with the breath. So as you inhale, pull the arms up. Exhale to release down. Last time, breathe in. And breathe out. Release that clasp of the hands. And then remove the block if you're sitting on the block. Extend the arms out nice and long into a child's pose, dropping the forehead down to the mat. Open up through the shoulder blades, through the armpits. And move the breath into the back side of the ribs. And on your next inhalation, start to rise up with the spine curved up to the sky through a cat stretch. And as you exhale, drop the hips down, come to kneeling plank and slightly gaze forward. Feel the abdominals engaged. Inhale again, arching the back up through cat. As you press back, exhale into child's pose. Inhale up through cat, curving the tail. Exhale to a nice neutral spine, kneeling plank. Press back, inhale, curve the spine, tuck the tailbone. And exhale to child's pose. Now this time, inhale, curve the back up, cat stretch. Exhale either to neutral spine or keep dropping your hips into a gentle back bend. Kneeling up dog. Then inhale as you curve the spine back up. Exhale back to child's pose. One more time, breathe in, round the back. Breathe out, kneeling plank or a back bend. Breathe in, curl it up. Breathe out into your child's pose. Moving on, a next layer around the back. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out. Then bend your elbows close to the sides of your waist as you lower your chest down to the mat. And then press yourself back up to that back bend. Curve the back into cat stretch. Exhale back into child's pose. Again, inhale, curl up. Exhale, drop the hips, shine the heart forward. Inhale, bend the elbows, lowering down. Exhale, press back up into that back bend or kneeling plank. Inhale, curve the spine, child or cat stretch. Exhale, child's pose. And we'll do this sequence one more time. Rise up, curl the back. Exhale, drop the hips. Inhale, bend the elbows, come down. Exhale, press back up. Inhale, cat. And exhale, child's pose. Now we'll tuck the toes underneath to lift the hips up into downward facing dog. And slowly pedal out the feet, bending one knee at a time. Push into the heel. And switch. Feel a stretch to the ankles and through the calves, through the hamstrings, a little bit up into the glutes. And still opening through the backs of the shoulder blades and through the armpits. Then we'll press both heels evenly down to the mat and breathe. Take one more breath in. Then exhale, set those knees back down onto the mat. And walk your hands right underneath the shoulders as we inhale the right arm up for thread the needle. Stretch and twist. Exhale, reach that arm through, setting the right shoulder down towards the floor, the right ear. And breathe in, stretch up. Gaze toward the hand. Breathe out, reach through. One more repetition. And prepare to hold your thread the needle, reaching through. Relax that shoulder down. Take your left hand and either place it on your lower back or wrap it behind. 3 breaths. Preparing to rise, press the palm of that left hand back into the mat. Inhale, open back up, reach. And set that hand back down to the floor into all fours. As we switch sides, let the left arm rotate. Look up, stretch. Exhale, thread the needle. The shoulder comes down, the left ear, and 2 more. Breathe in, stretch up. And breathe out, reach through. Such a nice rotation for the spine. And last one, breathe in. And we'll hold our thread the needle, just a gentle stretch here, reaching the opposite hand, either to place it on your lower back or all the way and wrap it behind you. Maybe setting your fingertips right into your hip crease. Soften through your belly and breathe. Preparing to rise, press the palm of the right hand back down under the shoulder. Push yourself up, inhale, open. And exhale back to all fours. Extend the right leg straight back. Inhale, slightly lift the leg higher, gaze forward. Exhale, pull the knee right in towards your chest and round into your cat. Inhale, extend back. A little bit of a back bend. Exhale, pull in. One more time. And extend that leg back and hold. Reach the left arm so you're in opposition spinal balance. And just check to make sure your hips are level, spine is pretty neutral, and your head is neutral as well. Feel that nice core connection. Exhale to place that left hand back down and place the bottom of your right foot down into the floor and push into your heel for another calf stretch. Now you can stay down on this left knee or push yourself up into a down dog position, which will give you more resistance down into that left ball or top of the left foot and the heel of the right foot. 2 more breaths. And then drop that left knee back down onto the mat. We're going to turn your left foot inward so it's on an angle. Place your other knee back behind it and turn your foot the other direction as we walk ourselves back into a cow face position. So I'm going to walk myself back until I can sit. I might need the block to come up on. And we'll hold here. So ideally, your knees are stacked. My left foot is out to the right side of my mat. My right foot is out to the left side of my mat. Now, oftentimes this is a really difficult pose to get into. So if this is not comfortable for you to sit all the way up, then I want you to put your hands down on the mat and just hold that crossed position to open up your hips. Or you can also reach the arms out and drop your forehead and do this in a child's pose position. So we'll be here for a couple of breaths. Nice and slow, meditative breaths. Relax those hips and allow them to open. Then if you're up on the block, we'll shift the body weight forward to remove the block. We'll come out of this position the same way we came in. So your right leg is behind. You'll extend that foot back behind you with the toe tucked under. Then realign your left foot by swinging it in. Then glide the right knee forward to come back to all fours, hands and knees. Then we'll take the left leg straight back behind you. Inhale, lift the leg higher, gaze forward slightly. Exhale, pull the knee in towards the chest, round the back, big cat stretch. And inhale, take it back. Exhale, round, pull it in, draw your abdominals up. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, pull in. And take that leg straight back. Hold. Reach the right arm out. The thumb is up to hold our spinal balance. Then we check to make sure the hips are level. Sometimes the left hip wants to lift in this particular position. So drop that hip down a bit and make sure your head is in a nice neutral aligned position. Then we'll lower that right hand back down to the mat with the toes tucked under. Set your left foot to the floor and push into your heel to stretch your calf and Achilles tendon. And you can stay on the knee or push away from the hands, lift up, stretching into the top of the right foot and dropping the heel of the left foot down to the mat. And we hold and breathe. Last inhalation. Exhale, lower that right knee back down, and then shift your right foot across toward the left side of your mat. Snuggle your left knee back behind your right and take your left foot to the right side. Start to walk yourself back into cow face. If you need your block, set it right under your seat and see if you can sit directly upright. And again, if you're feeling pain with this, it's not working, it's bothering your knees, your hips, option is to take your hands back forward so you have the pressure taken out of those hips and hold anywhere you can manage this stretch. I'm not holding a long period, just 2 more breaths, deep and full. And then if you're seated up on your block, walk those hands forward, remove the block, and we'll come out the way we came in. So your left foot is behind, extend it back and push into the heel. Align your right foot back to neutral, and then come back onto hands and knees. And we'll inhale, sweep the arms out and up, come all the way up high to your knees, reach. Exhale, bring the hands behind the sacrum area. Place your fists or your flat hands here. Lift your heart open for Camel Pose. We'll feel the fronts of the hips opening up, a little bit of a stretch through the quads, a baby back bend up through the thoracic spine. Then pull the spine back up to neutral. Release the arms. Take a breath in. Sweep up. As you breathe out, turn to your right and bring your right hand back and see if you can find your heel back behind you. Now you might like to tuck your toes underneath here so you can reach the heels a little easier. Stretch back and you're looking back towards the back corner of the room, opening up through the left side ribs. But keep both hips facing forward as best as you can. One more breath, twisting camel. And as you exhale, pull yourself up. That arm follows. Inhale. Exhale, start to turn left to reach the left hand back down toward the heel. And then lift and stretch upward through the right side of your body. And align those hips forward. One more breath. Pull yourself up, both arms reach. Inhale. Exhale one more time with hands both back behind you, either to your sacrum, or maybe you can find both heels with the fingertips. Pull the shoulder blades back toward one another. Open the heart. Gently squeeze your glutes. Press the hips forward. One more breath. Exhale, pull yourself up. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale and swan dive into child's pose. Stretch those arms out nice and long. If your toes are tucked under, you can flip them back over. The top of your feet are facing the mat. Then we'll tuck the toes, lift the hips into downward facing dog. Stretch it up. And take your right leg and reach it up toward the sky. Stretch it up as high as you feel comfortable lifting it. And then swing that foot through towards the top of your mat, up towards your hands. Drop your left knee down and make sure this foot comes all the way up. So you might have to give it an adjustment to really get it forward. And then we'll twist open into a kneeling low lunge with a twist. Now using your core, we're going to pull up off the left hand, but still in a twist. So lift up, and you're in this rotation, pulling that left shoulder blade back. Left shoulder forward, right shoulder blade back. Then press the palms at your heart center and come into a twisting prayer lunge. So this elbow comes toward the knee and we rotate. 2 breaths. Gazing way over that right shoulder. And come out of the twist back to center. Reach down toward the mat. Tuck your back toes underneath to lift your back knee off the floor and rise up into crescent lunge. Stretch and extend through the fingertips. So if you need to drop that back knee back down as we do this sequence of poses again, please feel free. We'll take the hands back down. Your left hand stays on the mat, or you can place a block underneath that hand. And now we'll rotate open into our twist up off the knee. And remember, you can set it down here at any time. Now the challenge is to stand up in this twist. So start to use your core, pull yourself up. Step that back foot in a little further. And we're here in our twist. Good, focus on balance. Then press the palms. You can stay upright or bring that elbow across to the opposite thigh into your twisting prayer lunge. And it's okay to drop that knee down to the mat. Feel free to do that. A little bit more balance, control. 1 more breath. Exhale, reach back down to the mat. Press back into a downward facing dog. Or rest in child's pose for a little bit of a breather. You can pedal out your feet a little bit and move. I felt a lot of work in that front leg and the quad and glute. So we'll repeat that sequence on the left side, lifting the left leg up, really stretch it up, reach into your heel as high as you can feel comfortable, activating all the muscles. Then step that foot up as far as you can toward the top of your mat. Set your back knee down, and you can help that foot along the way because it's pretty essential that we get this good alignment from the ankle to the knee. Right hand stays down. We twist open to the left side. Reach up and stretch. And sink down into your right hip flexor just a little bit. Get that nice stretch. Then as you press down into your front foot, we'll pull up still into our twist. The right hand reaching forward, the left hand reaching behind you. Then press the palms at your heart. Bring the elbow down toward the thigh into your twisting prayer lunge. Gazing up over that left shoulder. Stabilizing and grounding into your left foot. One more breath. And we'll bring our hands back down to the mat and prepare to do the same sequence in high lunge. So tuck your back toes under to lift the knee off the mat, rise up. Now, if this pose you're struggling with balance, it might be difficult to do the rest of the sequence. You can go ahead and set that knee back down. We reach the hands forward. Right hand stays on the mat or on your yoga block as we turn open into our twist. Now really focus on balance and stability as you stay twisted and start to pick yourself up, right, reaching that right hand to the front, the left hand to the back. Press the palms at the heart center. Reach the elbow across, twisting prayer lunge. Very challenging. 2 more breaths. And then reach the hands back down to the mat. Push back to downward facing dog or your child's pose. And hold. So if you have a blanket in front of you that you're using for kneeling, you can just slide it out of the way so we won't be on the knees. And then gazing towards the top of the mat, either walk or jump your feet up towards your hands, forward fold. And we'll inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Reach towards the ceiling, maybe a baby back bend. Exhale, pull the elbows out, back, and down, lifting the heart forward. Stretching through the pecs, the fronts of the shoulders. Inhale, reach back up. And then exhale the arms by your side into mountain pose. So we'll be working on some balance. If you have a yoga strap, you might need that, or even a chair to hold on to or the wall. So find a nice stable position, feet about hips distance apart. And with balance, it's really important that you have a good, strong core alignment. So your axis is nice and in place. And we'll shift our body weight over into the right foot and pick up the left knee. And we'll just hold for a moment. Arms can be by your side, they can be at heart center, wherever it's best for you. Find something you can focus your gaze on. It's called your focal point or your drishti. And then we'll straighten the leg and bend it 3 times. Keep the hips stable. 2. Hold it out straight. Foot can be pointed or flexed. And try to lift the leg up a little and down. 2. 1. Lift up and hold. Circle that leg to the side and open out into Starfish balance. Lower the leg and lift. 3, 2, 1. And close the leg in, returning to mountain pose. Whew. Hopefully you were breathing through that whole sequence. Stabilize yourself now into your left leg. Pick up your right knee. Make sure that your core is engaged and your axis is all in neutral. And then we'll straighten that leg and bend it 3 times. Slowly firing these muscles. 2. Straighten and hold. Now use the quad and lift the leg up. 3, 2, 1. Now hold that leg up, hold it up. Sweep it around to the side for a starfish balance pose. Lower the leg and lift. 3, 2, 1. And close that leg in and relax. Feel all those muscles in the lower leg as you really focused on articulating those small muscles to balance. And we'll switch and do it one more sequence on each side. So you're on your right foot. The left knee lifts up. Shoulder blades are back. Straighten and bend the leg. 3, 2. Straighten, hold. Lift the leg. 3, 2, 1. Now hold it up, hold it up. Sweep it out to the side. Hold your starfish plank. Lower the leg and lift. 3, 2, 1. And lower down, returning to mountain. Great. The second time you should do it better because your mind and your body are more connected as to the sequence. You're more familiar. Let's lift that right leg up. Straighten and bend. 3, 2. Hold it straight. Lift it up. 3, 2. Hold it up. Circle it to the side. Find your balance. Lower and lift. 3, 2, 1. And lower and return to mountain. Take a nice big inhale up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Extend and pull your body long and stretch over to the side. Slightly roll your left shoulder back and look underneath that arm and breathe into the left side of your rib cage. Inhale, back up. Exhale to release that wrist. And breathe in, stretch up. Take the right wrist with your left hand and pull up and side. Pull that right shoulder back to slightly rotate. Look underneath the arm. Inhale, back up to neutral. And exhale, lower down. Walk your feet nice and wide with your toes slightly turned out. Inhale to 5-pointed star. Exhale, bend the knees deeply and sink into a squat. Pull those shoulder blades together, your elbows together, nice and solid through your legs and through the core. Inhale, reach. Exhale and sink. Pull those shoulder blades back. Notice the distance between the fronts of your shoulders. Try to expand. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Coming into sunflowers. As you breathe in, cross the elbows the wrists above the head, and then hinge forward and cross your wrists down towards the floor. Sit your butt back. Inhale, cross wrists. Exhale. So you're making a nice big circular movement. And this is mindful, meditative movement. You can go as slow as you want, or you can start to pick up the pace and really build some heat in your legs. Try to switch the cross of the wrists. Each time you come up, right in front of left, then left in front of right. 3 more. And 2. 1 more. Holding it at the bottom. We'll reach the fingertips down to the floor and really deeply bend your knees. Sinking down into those legs. If you need a block, you can have that right in front of you. And then start to slowly straighten the legs up and kick your heels out a little bit so your feet are parallel to the front and back edges of your mat. We are in wide leg forward fold. We're going to hold this forward fold for about 1.5 minutes. So start to sink down as deeply as you feel comfortable, elongating the backs of the legs. If your hamstrings are really tight, you're going to want to bend those knees a little bit, and you're also going to want to lift yourself up somewhat onto your prop. Maybe even a chair in front of you or your yoga block. Now, if you're pretty flexible and you can fold forward all the way, then let your head relax and sink down toward the earth. You can shake it side to side a little bit, up and down, right and left, and keep sinking down deeper into that forward fold. And just 30 seconds remaining. Two more very slow breaths. And then we'll add a twist to this forward fold. So keeping your right hand down about to the middle or up onto your block. Turn open to your left and try to stack your shoulders as best as you can. And this left arm can either reach up to the ceiling or you can wrap it behind your back, just as we did in our thread the needle today. And you might feel a little bit deeper stretch in your right inner thigh because your body is rotating to the left and putting that right side inner thigh on a little bit of a stretch. And we'll take 1 more breath. As you exhale, that left hand comes down. We support, it's right about at the midline of the body. And inhale, open up. You might notice a difference between your range of motion to the right side as opposed to the left. That right hand can wrap behind the back, and we're rotating the head to gaze up. And maybe we're feeling a little deeper stretch in the left inner thigh. One more breath. Exhale and lower down. Now start to bend the left knee, keeping the right leg straight. We'll come into an inner thigh stretch here on the right. So some people can actually come all the way down, bringing their butt down toward their heel. For me, it's a little difficult with the range of motion I have in my knees, but sink it as low as you feel comfortable, and you can pull the toes up on that right side. Inner thigh stretch on the right, a little bit of a glute stretch on the left. Left heel can be down or up off the floor. Then pressing yourself back up through the middle. Walk ourselves over to the other side. Now it's okay if you're up here and you're taking your stretch way up, because you can do the same thing without deeply bending this knee. So I want you to go where you feel comfortable today. And also we're making sure that this extended leg isn't locked out or hyperextended. There's a softness, a small micro bend in that knee. One more breath. And then press yourself back up to that wide leg forward fold one more time. Then walk your hands back over to the left side, but this time pivot on your feet to come into a lunge. And we'll lower the hands to the inside of that foot. We can come down to the elbows, come down to your block. The back knee can touch the mat if you'd like. And make sure the left foot is way out ahead of the knee as we breathe. Two more breaths here. And then we're going to take a half bind or a full bind. So walk yourself back up to your hands. Make sure you have your balance, so you're nice and steady in your feet. And then the hand that's closest to the foot will stay on the floor or on your block. And we're going to wrap the other hand behind your back. So this is a half bind where we're not connecting our hands together, but we just have one of them wrapped behind. If you'd like to take a full bind, the hand that's on the floor will reach underneath and try to attach your fingertips together. You can also use your yoga strap to hold behind you. And we'll take 2 breaths here. Release the bind, either half or full. Press yourself up and pivot back through the middle, stopping halfway at your wide leg forward fold. And then walking your hands all the way over to that right side, as I'm mirroring you. And drop down into your stretch with both hands to the inside of that front leg. And then sink down wherever you can into this stretch. Back knee can drop. Matter of fact, when I do drop that back knee, I get a little deeper stretch through my front leg hamstring. You can be up on a block, way up on the palms of the hands. 2 more breaths. Then either remaining as you are, or we can take the half bind. So the hand that's closest to your foot stays on the floor or on a block, and we'll pick the other one up and wrap it behind your lower back. Option 1. Option 2, the full bind. We feed this hand under the leg and see if you can clasp your fingertips together. Or toss your yoga strap behind your back and hold on to the strap. 2 breaths. And then release the bind. Bring the hands back to the mat. We'll press to child's pose by lifting that front leg back, drop to the knees, and relax. And then we'll transition to a seated position. I'm going to use my blanket just as a little cushion to sit on, come all the way up to seated. And we'll come to a seated tree pose. So the right knee is bent, the left leg is extended forward, and we're going to let this knee open out as much as we can. If you have your yoga strap, that's going to be a handy tool to use as we stretch forward into this left hamstring. So if you're using your strap, lasso it around the bottom of your foot. We'll take a nice breath in. Align your hips right directly towards that extended leg and reach forward and stretch. And just notice what you're feeling. For me, I get a big stretch in my low back. It's a place I'm typically tight. So I'm going to let the stretch in my low back dictate how low I can go. I know I'm a little bit more flexible in my hamstring and I could come further forward, but then there might be a strain in my lower back. So I want you guys to just notice what you're feeling and only go to the flexibility of the tightest link in the chain. One more breath. And then as you exhale, roll your spine up, curving your back. Then realign your spine. And we'll shift into the other side, extending the right leg straight, bringing the sole of the left foot to the inner thigh. It's tree pose seated. Let this knee open out so you have a little bit of a hip opener. With your yoga strap, perhaps, inhale, exhale, and stretch forward. Now, if your hamstrings are really tight, a nice little hint is to take a little hand towel and roll it up and put it right underneath your knee. Because that gives your knee some bend, but you're also supported at the same time. So that knee's not hanging into space. Make sure you're not holding your breath while you're holding the stretch. And then slowly roll your back up to restack. Then butterfly pose or Bada Konasana. Soles of both feet come together. And we're going to do this two ways today. So the first time, bring your heels in close to your groin, comfortably close. So you have a pretty tight bend in your knees here. And we can hold on at the ankles. We want to be sure we're not pulling up on our feet or toes. Press the knees apart with your elbows and stretch your body forward. So I am using a little bit of resistance from my upper body to accentuate that stretch. But again, not to the point where we're straining, just a nice, gentle elongation of the muscle. And then we'll come back up and take your heels away from your groin, maybe about 8 inches or so, to where now you have more of a 90-degree bend in your knees, a little diamond shape here. We'll inhale to reach the arms up and try to lead with your belly as you fold through this space. And the hands can come down to the mat. You can relax them down onto your legs. Some of you might be able to get your forehead down to your feet or to a block is nice. You can place your block right onto your feet and set your head down. And really soften through your hips to feel your legs sinking heavy in toward the earth. One more breath. And then slowly rising up. We'll come to a Z-sit position. So this right leg will stay bent in front of you as we bring the left leg out and around and to the side. And we'll do 2 stretches here. The first one involves this right hip. So we'll take the upper body and fold over that front leg and sink down. So this is a modified pigeon. If you want, you can take this back leg and go ahead and elongate it back behind you and roll the hip forward, coming into your pigeon. Or you can keep that back knee bent about 90 degrees for modified pigeon. And if you can support your head on maybe stacked hands or your yoga block, you can more deeply relax your neck muscles and shoulders. And we'll take one more breath here in modified pigeon. Exhale to start to press yourself up. If you have elongated that leg behind you, go ahead and pull it forward again. And then we are going to walk the hands behind us and lean back any amount. And this will stretch the quad on that left leg. Some of you might be able to get all the way back down to your elbows. Some may even be able to lay all the way down to the floor. That's a really tight muscle group for me. So I need to stay a little bit more upright. Now, if this bothers your shoulders to hold you up and you want to get that stretch, you can come up instead, reach for your ankle and pull your leg back. This is going to focus on that same muscle group without putting pressure into your shoulders. And we'll take one more nice breath here. And bring yourself up. And we'll switch our Z-sit by bringing the left foot around to the front and the right leg wraps around behind you. You may have about a 90-degree bend, or you can bend it a little bit more in that front leg as you begin to gently guide yourself down into your modified pigeon. Or you can take that other leg and extend it back and roll the hip forward into a full pigeon. Try to relax the head into your fists or into your yoga block. And really surrender to the pose. Find a relaxing place to hold it. And one more breath. Start to press yourself up. If that leg is elongated behind you, you're going to re-bend it. And then we'll reverse by walking the hands back behind you to stretch the quad of that back leg. Make sure you're not feeling any pain in this knee. So I want you to protect that knee. Make sure that that foot isn't rotating. And again, if this bothers your shoulders, just reach for that foot. And if you can't grab it with your hand, your yoga strap is a nice tool to just wrap around the ankle, and then you can lift it up and hold onto the strap and pull the leg back. Lots of options for these poses to make them accessible for everyone. And let's take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale, release that stretch. And then bring that right foot back around to a simple cross-leg pose. So we'll find a comfortable position for Nadi Shodhana breathing. So this is an alternating nostril breath. It requires you to breathe in and out through one side, one nostril, and then the other. If you're a little bit stuffy in your nose, that might be difficult to do. So if you need to quickly blow your nose with a Kleenex, just clear everything out. If it's not working for you to do this, just do a regular meditative breathing. So with Nadi Shodhana, we take our dominant hand, and you can hold it two ways. I like to take my peace fingers and place them right between my eyebrows, just above the eyebrows, and then place your thumb gently on one nostril and your ring finger gently on the other nostril. So we close off the right nostril and we inhale through the left, close off the left nostril and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, close it off, exhale through the left. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. And just continue at your own pace. Five more rounds for 10. When you finish, it will be the exhalation through your left nostril to complete. And then relax the hands to the top of the knees. And just check in. Notice how you're feeling. It's a wonderful breath pattern to do. It's calming. It's relaxing. It helps to disperse anxiety and tension and stress. And we'll place the palms of our hands at the heart center. As we use this mudra to demonstrate honor and respect and gratitude. And as always, I am respectful for each of you and where you are in your yoga practice. I am honored to teach you today and so grateful for your support for LisaBug classes. And the light and love and joy that resides within me honors the light, love, and joy in each of you. Namaste. I appreciate you so much for joining me today. I'm going to pop off the recording, and I'd love to say hello to anybody who has a minute to stay on with me. Great job, everyone.